Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have a special treat for y'all today. Now, as we've already ascertained, I've been through a lot of abuse, especially as a child. When I was young, I decided one day to tell God that I wanted to forgive my mother. Now, at the time, I still didn't remember anything. I don't have very much of my memory from before I was 14. Mind you, I'm 40 now. It's been coming back here recently. I don't really feel bad for anybody on that one. So, here's the deal. I told God I wanted to forgive my mom, but I was in foster care and I didn't know where she was. I didn't know how to get a hold of her. They wouldn't help me. They told me it was absolutely 0055 on us today. It's absolutely out of the question. Really, really bad for me to have anything to do with her. As a matter of fact, when I was in foster care, I was not allowed to be in any yearbooks. My name wasn't allowed to be with my picture. Anytime I was in any choir events. I was in the children's choir, the National Children's Choir. One, two, three. I did a whole lot of things. I always sang first soprano. I always ended up getting the solos and stuff like that. I was even in band, which a lot of people don't really know. But yeah, I played the clarinet. Anyway, so I told God I wanted to forgive my mom. They told me in foster care that I wasn't allowed to have my name or my picture anywhere in any of that because, well, simply put, they would find me. It was all they ever told me. I didn't understand what that meant. Now, hi, here I am. I'm in Corpus Christi, Texas. Come get you some. I bet you don't. I bet you tried. I bet you failed. Matter of fact, like I've been telling people, I hope you got paid well and in advance because you failed. And if you come across me, I'm going to take your phone and call your mom and tell her she failed too. And she might ought to just take you off the planet if you're going to do bad to me, 222, because she needs to make another one and do this one correctly. That's for all the opposition, the enemies, because I don't have enemies. See, I don't believe in that, 234. I believe that God fulfills whatever I ask. And since I decided that, my God isn't really one that prefers to cause harm and desolation, he'd rather people get right. If you make yourself my enemy, disclaimer, you will serve the Holy Lord God Almighty for all of eternity. And there'll be no other way about it. Now, that being said, when I was a kid, I would go to the counselor's office or go to see my therapist or whatever, because psychologists, psychiatrists, therapists, counselors, constantly, like 2 and 3 times a week. I was having these recurring dreams, right? Turns out that I was going to heaven. And in these dreams, I would go sit at this courtyard. I don't know what else to call it. It was a fountain. I would sit in front of this beautiful fountain. 333 when I said that. And I would wait and I would wait and I would wait. And I would see all these other people walking around, these little kids walking around, like all these people meeting and talking. And, angels aren't really in heaven like people think. They're not great winged characters and whatever. No, they're just like us. Their energy is different. The laws that they operate by are different. But they don't look like what we 404 traditionally believe angels look like. That's why I think it's ridiculous, but whatever. So I did this every night for years. I ended up meeting 419. I ended up meeting somebody later on in life, a husband and a wife that God had ordained me to be family to, since I didn't have family. I ended up meeting them anyway, and they remembered seeing me in heaven and talking to me and some other kids. Shout out to Terry and Echo Finsky, 444. I miss you guys and I love y'all. If you're still alive, even if you're not, I miss you guys and I love y'all. So anyway, 456. I spent every night of my childhood doing this, right? In order to wake up from these dreams, I would run across this massive field of goat head stickers. I just loathe goat head stickers. God ended up telling me not too long ago it was my fault that this sticker field was there, which I understand now, the significance and the how I managed to do that. I understand now too why I would do that. But anyway, I would run across this massive field, right? And then there was this playground at the other end of the field. And this playground was really, really cool. So, like, I would see all these other kids running for it too, right? And there's these slides. And whenever we got in these slides, we'd slide down these slides and then poof, I'd wake up in my body. It's a trip. Trip on this, though. 555. I'm not the only kid that ever had those dreams. As a matter of fact, when I was 18, just before I went to my very first and only 30 Seconds to Mars concert, I met somebody that handed me a book by Joyce Meyer that talked about kids that had had dreams about going to heaven, that supported and backed up everything that I had been saying to my counselors, my therapists. So you see, God can do anything. And so can you, if you believe. The point was that I wanted to forgive my mom for what she had done. I just wanted her to know that even though I didn't understand, I understood, and I wasn't mad at her. I wanted her to have a good life. I wanted her to forgive herself. And I wanted her to be happy. I wanted her to know I was okay. And in case you're wondering, she never showed up.